See, most people, they want to have guarantees in trading, but that means you can't be open-minded. So you either got to be 100% open-minded and be ready for anything, or you're biased in some way, shape, or form. Like, there's no in-between. And I used to learn that. Look, here's a bit of a double bottom for the dollar here. 1, 2, a little bit of a low slanted double bottom. It did break to the upside. It's at my resistance area. 4 hour still has room to move, though, and wants to bang to the upside. I would love to see this resistance hold and have us not get above it. I do see, look, a shoulder, a bit of a head, and a bit of a right shoulder forming here for the dollar index. 4 hour is bullish, just like Bitcoin, which is interesting. 1 hour is a little higher than Bitcoin, so it's kind of front-running it. I would like to see it dump. Also, right here is bearish divergence. This is swing up to swing up, is it not? So you're forming this ascending triangle, rising wedge type situation here. Just like Bitcoin's interesting, they're both kind of in the same pattern, a smaller version of it. Now, what we want to see is now if this breaks up, it's going to have it's going to almost break up like parabolically right out of my resistance to this next zone. So there is momentum. Let's take a look at the 15. 15 minutes overbought, though, at resistance. So I'd like to see this bearish divergence play out. Swing up to swing up, swing down on the 1 hour time frame on the RSI. That's bearish divergence. See that? The last few times we had it, like right here, it eventually, even on the 15, it eventually created downside. And we had a similar pattern. You know, this one broke in, but we had like the rising wedge starting to form. See that? Ideas of moving. We made this big M. See the M pattern here? M's break to the downside 68% of the time. Watch out for your M. So when you see a rising wedge with an M, when you see a high, when the Stokes come back up, like watch this. I'm going to use the dollar index to teach you Bitcoin today. Because Bitcoin's doing the same thing right now. You can use any asset to teach yourself another asset. So beautiful. But look at this. The Stokes come up on the 4 hour. They reset down. They come back up again and start to curve. They curve, and yes, they made it a higher high slightly, but it's an M pattern. Pure as day. All right? And that was also a bigger resistance from way back in the day. So you're in a rising wedge. You make the slanted M, and you can't get above the resistance, and you're high on the stochastics. You're also on the RSI, and then you have bearish divergence. So when you couple price action making an M, rising wedges with bearish divergence, overbought MACD, super high, overbought RSI, and the stochastics turning back to the downside, even my indicator, which finds divergences for you, which is the stochastics RSI divergence indicator, you could type in right here, RSI, and type in the stochastics RSI with divergences by neobutane. And that's going to actually have the divergences for you. Look, it called it right there for you, the same one that I called. I like to find mine precisely on the RSI. I found the RSI is the most precise way to find it, but I don't mind having a backup, and when I see it and then they see it, that's dual action there. So that's a good idea that we're possibly going to break to the downside, and we do. So I'm hoping for a similar scenario here, okay? However, there we were high in the 4 hour. Right now we're not. So 4 hour, it has more momentum than the smaller time frames. Could easily shred through us. So we want to see if this bearish divergence can play out on the 1 hour time frame. So that's why I watch smaller time frames, because look, if this comes up, we don't get above, we start to drop. We're going to do a bearish retest on the 15 and start to drop here. I'm not going to see that on the bigger time frames. I'm not going to be able to confirm what's called a bearish retest, okay, on those time frames. So it's just like I talk to my students, it's just like a scientist that zooms in using a microscope. You zoom in closer to see what's going on. Use the smaller time frames to get a closer version of what's happening. So yes, I'm open-minded to the break to the upside. 4 hour looks absolutely beautiful for a move for the dollar, which isn't good for BTC, unless they may move together for a while, which is also possible. See, I'm not open-minded. See, most people, they want to have guarantees in trading, but that means you can't be open-minded. So you either got to be 100% open-minded and be ready for anything, or you're biased in some way, shape, or form. Like, there's no in-between. And I used to learn that. I used to think I was open-minded, but I wasn't. I always had this, but I think I'm bullish today. You know what I'm saying? Now, you'll see me, but yesterday you said a high probability of this. Yeah, I'm saying high probability. But then I even say, if there's a high probability, like right now, there's a high probability the dollar breaks up on the 4 hour time frame. Right? But if the 1 hour doesn't get above previous resistance, then it doesn't matter what the 4 hour says. You get it? So I take it one level at a time from the 15 minute to the 1 hour.